Well, hey there team, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to some more Hardspace Shipbreaker. Continuing along, poking and prodding at the industrial gecko hull, we're making some big progress, making some big breakthroughs. Interestingly, one of the things I was talking about was how the rear end might be attached with the thruster caps, but someone pointed out, sorry I can't remember who, that the caps are exactly that, they're just caps, they're not actually strictly attached to the thrusters. It's just that until the thrusters are released by isolation or anything like that, they're actually like firmly held to the pipe, and they sit inside the lip of the thruster cap, I suppose is the best way to describe it. So as long as everything's sort of held together while they're not attached, they are kind of wedged in there. But as people have suggested, I think if I were to detach the rest of the shell forward and that, I might actually be able to pull the superstructure forward, as opposed to trying to pull the shell on the back end back. So that's going to be interesting. Yeah, and the cool thing is that obviously we only do it in one shift. As I'm pulling and peeling all this crap off, we're having by necessity to get faster at peeling this ship apart so we can start experimenting with the other things, because by the time I get to the back end, I've only got a couple of minutes to really figure out what's going on. So let's see what we've got. There we go, we've got a heavy gecko. Alright, so here, let's lay out the plan. Because we also need to figure out how to get a little entryway in. That's the one thing that is unaffected by the pressure being a problem, right? Because I don't want to have to go through and cycle the airlocks. Having said that, the airlocks will always be pressurized, won't they? Like, they will always be pressurized. I'm pretty sure there's no time that they're not. I'm curious what happens. Yeah. Because if we blow out the airlocks, well, that's the thing, because of the heatsink. Well, here's a thought. Perhaps there's a scenario, maybe there is never a scenario where there's two heat sinks on either airlock. I don't think I've seen that. Let's go with, and just assume, based on nothing, anecdote basically, let's assume that there might be one heat sink on the airlock. And if you might recall, if we explosively decompress the airlock, having a heat sink attached to the outside of it seems to mess with its explosion a little bit. It makes it less delicious. So I think what we might do is explosively decompress to enter an airlock that doesn't have a heat sink associated with it. I mean, if both of them are clean, then we could probably just pop both airlocks immediately, right? But we'll pop at least one, and then that gets us inside. And then we can start sort of passing the ship apart into bits and pieces. Yeah, and to disconnect the cockpit, I think what we're going to do is melt one of the plates to get inside. Yeah, because we need to be able to move that furniture. Yeah, okay, I've got a rough idea. I'm just saying this because we're on the clock as soon as we start, you know? Alright. Now this will be interesting how to... Well, the ship's not compressed, which is good. But the airlocks are. Okay, as expected. Oh, hang on. Oh no, yeah, no, the airlocks are good. Alright, see that? That's a heat sink down there, isn't it? Am I right? Oh, it's hard to tell because the thing's not giving me a proper readout. Wait, are you serious? Are there actual double heat sinks right now? Is that what's going on? Am I reading this right? Oh, you bastard! I thought that there might not be. Alright. Now here's the thing, that's an aluminium panel, right? What about we just go in here? Because it's aluminium, we don't give a shit about aluminium. Oh wow, that doesn't want to disconnect. But this bit does, sort of. Maybe we can squeeze... How square is your head? Can you squeeze into the hole? I can. Alright, cool. Bloody bullshit with the double, with that. I love I just assume that they don't exist. Now I wonder if disconnecting them gives it enough space to do its magic. Not really sure. Or if you have to actually clear them out. We're still working this out. You know what, we'll pop them now because It's probably the most dangerous part, right? We haven't, just because we haven't had a problem go wrong doesn't mean it won't go wrong. Alright. Nice. Yeah, so that should be... So we do want to move a little bit faster, but it's also... See, that's pretty clean. It's only left this bit that's not attached to anything, so I don't care. That's disconnected. Yeah, that's pretty clean. I'm pretty happy with that. We might have to experiment with the heat sinks attached as well. I'm pretty sure that I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys have been watching with me as well. Some of you might have binged all the last episodes. It might be fresh in your memory. But if I recall, the heatsink seems to mess with the how clean that explosion is. Right, so what we ultimately want to do is that. Oh, whoops. I thought that was the sound, my bad. Probably hold on, you know. Alright. So that should all be disconnected, right? Perfect. So that worked. The worry is that one day that's going to be compressed, so we're going to have to deal with that. Right, and then because we can't handle the weight, we need to split this here and here, but the old square head should be able to move that. I mean, we don't necessarily, if we want to go faster, I won't necessarily do this. Like, I'm wanting to go with a little bit of pace just because I want more room for experimenting at the end, but we're not at bloody speed running standard yet, you know? Not that I'm trying to speed run. It's just that I actually want to get the most bang for my time as I can. Alright. So that should be drifting apart as well, right? No, because we have to cut this. But, okay. Off we go. Right, so that's working. Nice. And then we want to peel the top. We've got the cargo doors, so that's not going to interfere. I'll cut these rear ones first, right? Because there's sort of like a saddle on the front we need to remember. So we cut them. Right. And yes, it's attached there. But like, we need to remove these saddle points, so we don't actually need to cut that necessarily. Right? Oh, don't give me that bullshit. I thought I lined that up. That's better. No. Okay, so that's all peeling away. Spread them, baby. Make the ship blush. Right. So this is essentially where we were up to. God, we're getting faster, I'll tell you what. Yes, okay, so they're not attached in the back, but they are firm on the pipe. I like that the soundtrack changes to more ominous when you hang around the pipes. Right, but broadly speaking, this is just floating. This is just sitting there. Yeah, the cooling things might be a problem. They might actually physically get in the way. But if you have a look, it's not attached anywhere. It's not attached anywhere. There'll be one strut up the front underneath. Under here, this thing. Alright? Which is going to cause me a headache. Oh god, don't hit the coolant line, please. Nailed it. I should have checked the weight first, but yeah, it's registering them as part, and that's the whole front section is 20 ton. This superstructure, which, if I recall correctly, is too heavy. Yeah, it's not moving. That's fine. Okay, so here's the big problem. Look at this pipe, right? That's technically part of the 20 ton. Oh, no! So, if you wanted to move that sort of superstructure forward, like, you can't cut it in half because of this pipe servicing it, and as soon as we do that, the whole thing will bloody melt down. Oh, this changes a bit. Alright, so I'm gonna have to have a bit of a rethink on that one, right? But the bottom is now no longer attached, and that's 80 ton, right? Which is insane. I should have just dragged all this shit forward, you know? I'm not that worried about harvesting any of it. Okay, so now, brown cow. How now? What are we gonna do? I mean, it's inevitable that we need to yank the core, that's true. Geez, that just doesn't want a bar of it, does it?
Salvage destroyed.
Alright, so we've got that keel section in the way. This is old school when I used to yank it straight out of the top, but the problem is pulling it straight out. Really, mate, it starts sparking like buggery, right?
There's 5 minutes remaining in this shift. Get in while the getting's good. We run.
Man, what the fuck? Now that's interesting. I can't. Now this here means it's indestructible. This. I didn't know. What is that piece? What are you called? No, you're not the reactor plate. You're the reactor plate. This thing doesn't exist. This is sort of technically pipe, maybe? Oh. Okay. Like, dare I do it? What happens if we cut that? I mean, it's not really going to change the problem. I'm less worried about isolating and that as well. Oh, fuck it. I'm going to burn that out. I'm going to see what happens. This could be bad. Oh. Well, isn't that interesting? Hang on.
Reactor meltdown triggered. Action urgency required.
What have we figured out here? Alright, that doesn't want to let go. Because this is all in the way. Alright, yeah, now we're in trouble. Now we're in trouble. Yeah, finally, see, because it's shit, it's cool. Fuck this, let's go. Oh, maybe not. Alright. Okay, that was interesting though. Anyone that's, well, I mean, I'm sure a lot of you have been around here for a while, or you play it yourselves, probably would have recognized that, cutting that plate got it away clean. We could potentially cut the supports that were in the top. Oh my god, look at that. Look at that. Don't do that, she says. Alright, Mole. I think we might be able to pull it out the top, because the trick is you don't want to ever take it off the base plate. But that was a really, really clean way to disconnect the base plate from the piping. Oh my god, my frame rate. My sweet baby frame rate.
Salvage destroyed. Please revisit your training.
Yeah, you reckon that's what the problem is, do you?
Oxygen level stabilizing.
Oh, we don't have a lot of time left. We don't have a lot of ship left. So, let's explore. See, this is the other thing, the cargo being attached onto the sides. Like, how much do they weigh? 1.5 ton each. 1.2 ton per. Okay. It'll make a big difference cutting them out.
Deposit accepted.
I don't really understand what that is. Oh, is that what's actually got it attached, technically? Right.
1 minute left, Cutter.
Yeah, there's not a lot left to work with. That little plate was amazing. I didn't know. I just assumed it was all base plate. But that's the trick, I think. We cut that and then we cut the top out. Okay. So then when we do that, right, we now will have. Is this all pretty much intact, the front? It is, right? Alright, so what if I do a clean center cut like there? How much do you weigh? 10 ton. Look at this handy little anchor I created. Oh. Well, that pulls away quite easily, doesn't it? That is interesting. That comes away absolutely no stress. Oh man. Look at that. Best earnings yet, 78 cents. Oh man. Alright, that was really interesting. So, I guess we need to consider how we're going to move the reactor. Right, we definitely can cut. You saw how much time I had before the sparks started doing damage, right? Because it's got to get, the sparks have to actually bust its casing before they will then spark again and cause trouble. So there was a huge window. Now if we removed like all the bracketing above the barrel, it was quite deep. Like we have to remove essentially the entire front facing wall section, or at least the top half of it. Then we could delete that plate. We could delete that plate. You know what we could do? Because how does cutting fuel lines and all that go? You have to burn them out, right? Because what we could hypothetically do... No, I don't think we can cut the fuel... Well, the fuel line's not a problem, actually. The coolant line. But the coolant line sort of goes up and under. What I'm thinking is, in that moment where we cut that base plate out, right? The only thing to worry about attaching the front of the superstructure is well, you know, the gantry that we cut just then, and also the coolant line. Oh no, we'll have to have a bit more of an eyeball inspection sort of thing, because I was thinking like you might be able to have a tether ready to go to pull that structure away and do a cut, and then you could pull the whole front half of the sort of internal structure, cabin, aluminium, captain's area, pull that all away, and then maybe that'll make more of a clean path to pull the barrel out. I'm not sure. Okay. Anyway, every day's an adventure, and we're learning more and more every time we play this. I frigging am loving this, and it's cool to hear the comments saying that a bunch of you are enjoying how we're sort of doing this deep inspection of the ship's systems and how it works. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, team, thanks again for joining me. We might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.